Hey guys, welcome back to another Discord Digest video. This is Dashcraft, and in today's video we're gonna make our own Discord Digest command handler, but in a pro version and way. You might be wondering what the hell is a pro version or the pro way. Well, a while back I actually made a video about a command handler which was quite interesting.
朋友是一个坚韧不拔的纪录片，在香港这座城市的社区。
So our organization was kind of messing with my head the whole time, so I decided to make an updated version of that, which basically is more organized for the commands folder and everything else. You will be surprised on how cool it is, and it's kind of updated version to the point that it will work with this version 13. Well, obviously the functionality and stuff all work the same like version 12, just a few tweaks and a better optimization for your commands folder and events folder, so it will work pretty neat and better. Anyway, so my whole point of this is a must-have command handler update, or if you don't have a command handler, it's totally fine. You should definitely upgrade, alright? Because this is gonna really help you if you don't have a command handler. Definitely use this command handler because this definitely is gonna be helpful and probably the best command handler tutorial ever. Like, I checked YouTube and all of them were either broken or wouldn't work. This video will definitely work. I'm just 100% sure about it. So if you, in case you're wondering it's not working anything, just trust me, it will definitely work. I'd recommend watching this video to the end so you won't have any problems. In case you guys have any problems or anything in general, just go ahead and join your Discord server. Our Discord server has so many support people, like they actually help people if they have any issues and stuff. Even I help sometimes. And also like the video, subscribe to the channel, and go on and share with this video to like other people you know if they're gonna like it, because this will help me to promote this video to the platform, and I will definitely need that from you guys, so it will support me to make more videos like this. Anyways, without further ado, let's actually get into this video, and bada bing bada boom. Alright, so now I'm at my desktop, and first of all, make sure you do have a project ready to put your command handler into, because if you don't have a project, then obviously you're not going to be able to put a command handler on it. So my opinion, go on and have your Discord bot ready and learn some Discord Digest tutorials if you don't know how to make a Discord bot, and then come into this video and then learn how to put a command handler to organize your stuff and make your bot cleaner and cooler. So first of all, once you open your project, then you should have a window like this. Well, obviously mine is different because I have my own Discord bot and stuff. Obviously you should have a comment in like index.js or something like that. First of all, you might see that my index.js looks more cleaner now. I'm not really gonna get into the really specific stuff, but right now I'm just gonna go on and tell you that we want to make our index.js as clean as possible. So when we gonna put all of our files inside our src folder, it will look a lot cleaner. Index.js usually should be as minimal as possible, just have to run some commands, and then in the src folder the actual code will begin. The index.js obviously has some code which will actually be helpful in my opinion, but right now I think this index.js usually should be clean, alright? Like it shouldn't be messy, your message folder and stuff like that. Anyways, first of all, you have to make a folder called src, and after you create that folder, you need to make another file. I mean, not another file, a file named clientmanager.js. So what it's just gonna do is basically manage your whole code in another separate file, and we're gonna tell index.js to pass this folder file we created to index.js, so like basically pass it to the folder that we created and instead of the command we created. So first of all, as you can see, we have the as you can see in here, I first of all define my client, a new client manager. Make sure you have this staying here because you don't need to change that, like it has to be staying there. And then once you finish this, well, obviously you do have it if you have a Discord bot. So and then in here we have const client manager, so you have to put this before this section right over here. And in the client manager is going to require the file inside of our src folder, which is clientmanager.js. So after that, all I have to do is just put client, which is like referring to this client that we have in here, which I said please keep it in the start of index.js, and then setup. So once we require this inside of here, after we done this, everything should look similar to mine right now. But you might have your events inside of your index.js, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that yet. Keep it there, but don't run the bot yet. All right, we have to do some configuration. So in here I have a command manager. If I click on this, then you might see a whole lot of different things. So this is basically my index.js in a separate file called clientmanager.js. So as you can see in here, I have my client collection and stuff, which is required Discord. Basically paste anything that was on your index.js to here, but you have to add this and the constructor, which is like the collection that you have and stuff. In here we have model.exports and equal to class client manager extends client. So, well, like I said, configure like const client and collection is equal to required Discord.js. So they're like specifically about the Discord.js. Basically, when we use client outside of our code, it refers to Discord.js and collection as well. And the event handler. So this is where we have to make our event handler and command handler. But for now, we have to put our event handler in here. So make another folder called events, and then another folder called utils. So these two folders are gonna be, util folder is gonna be used for loading the commands and events, and functions if you have any. Well, we don't care about this tutorial, but in load commands and load events, make sure you have these two files inside of your utils folder. And then in the events folder, we have to have our message event and ready event. But yet, before we start, make sure to make those folders first. And then after you create the folder, you have to go on in here and say const event handler is equal to require dot slash utils slash load events. So it will refer to the load events inside of your utils folder, but we don't have a load events file yet. So go into your utils folder and then make a new file and call load events.js. After you've done that, you should be fine to go. And also your config file, if you have anything, like mine is setting the JS, which is like outside of all of my document, like directories, which has my bot token stuff. I want to keep it hidden, so I required my config file. Then make a model export equal to class, like basically what I told in the beginning. And then the constructor have to have like your collections. Well, first of all, you have to have a commands collection and aliases collection. So all of your collections that you have created inside of your index.js have to be in here. If you don't have any, you have to add these two because you will need this for the command handler. And make sure it's like exactly like mine, so you won't have any problems like this constructor and stuff. And then in the setup area section, you have to say this.event equal to new event handler, and then this. So what does this refer to? You might be asking, what is this? So this in here basically refers to client, if that makes sense. So we don't want to use client. Instead, we're going to use this, which refers to the client in this case. So the client.commands, it will be changed to this.commands. All right, if you have it in your index.js, like in your index.js. And then in here, we have client.events. It will turn to this.events. As you can see, I changed it in here already. And so make sure you put this inside of your setup, which we, like I talked about, remember I said setup, this is where it's coming from. When we do setup in here, it will refer to setup section right over here. And then in the setup section, after you created this inside of the model exports, you have to put this.events equal to new event handler, and then this. So this is like client, right? Client, 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 client. You know what I'm trying to say. And then in here, we have this.events.init. Put this, just trust me, it will work. And then in the require section, make sure to require the load commands. So in here, this is where we are going to require our load commands.js file, which is in the utils folder. We haven't created that file yet. Just go on and create the file, which is called load commands.js. Make sure that you capitalize exactly like mine, so you won't have any problems. So they're case sensitive, all right? They're pretty important if you put like capital C and stuff. So make sure just they look exactly like mine. And then in here, we have this.login. So this is like client.login, which is like config.token. And you can put a token in here as well if you want to. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to show my token. But if you have a config file, I suggest using a JSON file and then requiring it and then using the JSON file to get a token instead of the JSON file and stuff, which will be more secure. And if you want to even go more professional, you can use .env files, which are like so much more encrypted and better. And after you've done this, that's pretty much it. Your bot should basically function, but the command handler and stuff might not work because we haven't even done anything yet. So in here, as you can see, I have load commands.js. Let's just start off by first going to the load events.js file. And instead of the load events.js, just copy and paste. There's going to be a link in the description down below. Just going to copy and paste the link I gave you in the description down below, which is like in a GitHub repository. There's a load events file and a load commands file. Just going to copy them and then paste them inside of the file. So load events, I'm going to paste it in here. And then in the load commands, paste them inside of here as well. Once you've done that, you have your command handler set up, and it should be pretty easy. Just give you the source code as well. And then in the commands, so we have to make another folder called commands. So in this folder, we're gonna also put folders again, which will organize our commands folder. So this is MISC, which is like malicious and stuff. So like test command and stuff. If you have like a mod files, you can call this folder mod. I'm gonna put in the start of commands. Don't ask again. Move. There we go. So instead of my commands folder, I have miscellaneous. I don't know how to spell that. other things, like other folder, like other commands. And then in the mod, like this is a moderation commands, or you can have like literally a fun command. Like, you know, fun commands have to be sort of the fun folder. You can name it whatever you want, it really doesn't matter, but it's just good for your own organization. Don't make a file instead of the commands folder again. This is why I'm making today's video. It will make your things more organized. You don't have to make, you have to make a folder for every single file. It's fine if you have multiple files, right? Like, I'm saying like if I have my like mod folder, I can have the ban, kick, and stuff command inside of this folder. This is what I'm trying to say. And then if you have in a commands folder, you should be able to see tests, right? This is basically a default look of how the commands should look like for you. Like, for example, if you're trying to make a command, then they have to look like this exactly, okay? You have to have model exports.run, and then client.message.args, and then model exports.config, and like stuff like that, if you see what I'm trying to say. And then as you can see, I have everything in here. So what you want to do is basically, instead of the scene, you have to have message.send, you can replace it with your own source code, and instead of the name in here, you can name it whatever you want, the command name basically, not whatever you want, the command name. So if this is a ban command, I'm gonna call this ban, right? So it will work when I put the ban in here. And then the aliases, if you have any aliases, I can go on and put, I don't know, like testing, I guess. If you have a multiple aliases, then do this and add another one, and let's call it okay, whatever, like, you know what I'm trying to say. And then close this here. I don't need this because I don't have any aliases for this. And in here, as I said, in here you have to put your actual command, like your command basically. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, so in here, after you've done all of this, a template should basically look like this. All right, this is the template. Like, I'm showing you a template right now. So every single file you're creating has to have this template you're seeing on the screen right now. All right, and then you can fill it up by yourself. So before we run the bot, we have to also show the events folder. So in my case, like a lot of you guys probably have all of your stuff inside of the index.js file. So now you have to move your events from the index.js file that you have to the events folder. So for every single event you're creating, the name is really important. All right, like I've told this multiple times, you have to be careful with case sensitivity in this kind of case, like events folder. And let's say, like for example, in my message event, I'm gonna call this like file message.js, not message test or message whatever word. It have to be like the event name, so it will work. So for example, in my ready event, again, I called my folder ready.js, which means the ready event. You know what I'm trying to say. And then in the ready event, there's another template now, which I use Chalk because it will make the console like logging kind of better looking. But don't worry about the Chalk. This is just an external plugin I use. Just you might want to look into it. It's pretty cool actually. And in here, so this is a template. This is a template for the events. There you go. This is your template for every single event file you're creating. However, a lot of your methods have options and options within them, right? So for example, in the ready event, we don't have any options for a ready event. I just have the client, right? Client, which refers to the bot itself. But in the message event though, things are really different. So move your index.js ready file to the ready.js file, and your message file to the message.js file, and use the templates I told you. So message, my FEC, this is my whole message bot code. All right, I pasted it inside of this model exports. And then, like I said, every event has their own options. So in here, I said the message event has a message option. You don't have to make you can't make options up make options up by yourself either, right? So you have to know what sort of options each event has. Well, good news for you, there's a cheat sheet for Discord.js event. Cheat sheet. Oh my god, I wrote that wrong. Cheat sheet Discord events. This is like a cheat sheet for all of the events available for Discord.js. So for example, let's search for I don't know, let's search for member ban ad, for example. As you can see, it has an option for guild and user. So if I wanted to make a file, I have to call my event guild ban ad. I'm gonna copy this, for example. This is just an example, right? You have to do this and then the JS. And then use a template I told you about. So just copy the whole thing here, which looks like a simple template. I remove the Chalk because obviously there's an Chalk and the console.log. We don't need that. So now the options though, the options have to be guild and user, since the options in here are guild and user. Simple as that, right? Same thing for the message. Why did I put message in the option? Because it's an actual option for the message event. So I'm going to delete this file because I just taught you how to use this instead of my message. There we go. So now instead of our message event, we're not done yet. Stay in your message event after you copied and paste, you converted your index.js message event to here. And your message event, like instead of it should like have this code, right? This is like you have to have a similar message event like this. Copy the whole code inside of it and paste it inside of this bracket thing in here. Like they're not brackets, but I don't know, semicolons. I don't know what they call. I'm sorry, I don't know. But I'm highlighting it right now for you. So those, put them inside of there, and then once you've done that, perfect. You should be fine to go. But make sure that everything is defined in it in case you don't have any. If you have anything that is required instead of your index.js, make sure require them on top of here, like Discord. If you ever use Discord, I don't think you ever guys use Discord and stuff. Like for example, Discord XP, all right? They use a package. Require packages before model exports. And once you've done that, now we have to give this bot to read our messages in order to have a command, right? So usually you guys have probably the commands. I told you guys to convert your commands to like the commands folder. However, though, I think a lot of you guys have done things like this. All right, so like if I don't know, like the cmd, for example, is equal to prefix, which is like this, for example, and then like test, then do this. I think a lot of you guys who learn basic Discord.js, you guys have probably done this. For your normal bot inside of your index, so just delete all of that, copy the code instead of them though, and turn them into a commands file inside of the commands folder. And I told you how to organize them and stuff. Feel free to go back into the video and listen to what I said again. And yeah, so basically in here, there is this side of the code I added, which is basically saying that if the message doesn't start with a prefix, return it. So obviously you have defined the prefix inside of your source code. And yeah, so basically it. And then in here, I said command. So for your argument system, you know argument system too. I have an argument system in here. We don't need CMD anymore. Well, we do need CMD. Actually, never mind. We do need CMD with message array, CMD, and arg. These three files, you have to have these three files, all right? Because we have an we need to argument with an argument system because whenever we want to use commands, they're not going to work properly. Let me give you an example. So let's say I do test, I don't know, like another option here. Like for example, test 1. Your command wants to detect this is a 1 and this is a 2 when reading it, not only the first one, right? So in order to do that, we have to have these 3 lines of code, and then inside of this is the line that will read it. Like I said, the first one returns if there is no messages starting with prefix, and then in here, I made a new const command file. I'm gonna also put my message event in the description down below instead of the GitHub repository, so you guys can go and check it out and paste it if you need like code, but make sure you understand what I'm trying to say right now because it will help you. And in client, commands.get cmd.slice prefix a length. In here I said cmd, if you have defined a cmd, then it should work. The to string, the to lowercase. This will make sure that if you have a command like this, it will work either ways. And then in here, as you can see, I did another one. Just copy and paste what I did. Like just literally copy and paste what I did. All right. And then in here we have if there's a command file, then it's gonna run the command file, client, message, and args. What is args? It refers to arguments in here, which these 3 lines of code, they always have to be together. All right. Don't forget about that. And that's pretty much it. If you have done everything I told you so far, it should work for you without any issues. If you have any questions, comment them down below, join your Discord server, and I will help you out there with my support server and support team. Don't worry, don't hesitate. It might be a little bit confusing, but it will be fine. Trust me, I will just promise you about that, all right? Anyways, so once you've done that, you should have a pretty neat command handler and event handler without any issues. So let's test things out. So I'm gonna go on and make another file, and I'm in my sort of my mod folder. Well, actually, I'm gonna make another file instead of this folder. I don't really have a mod. I don't really need this folder, honestly, but I'm just gonna keep it for the sake of video. And then, okay, I'm sorry. Make a file. I'm gonna call it Amugas. Let me call it that, just for memes, I guess. And then the JS. I'm gonna copy a template and paste it inside of here. And in here, I'm gonna call it Amugas, which is a command name. And a channel send. I'm gonna say command handler is working. Perfecto. So I'm gonna run this. Wait, what is this? Okay, yeah. There we go. Terminal. Let me take a new terminal. No dot, and there we go. So we're gonna do it and test emugas, and command handler is working. Perfect. And if I do test, it will say test command. Voila, it should work without any problems. If you have got any errors, I recommend putting them in the comment section down below. I will help you. Or join your Discord server, and we will help you a little bit faster over there and a little bit more detailed, so you will understand things as well. Either, in my opinion, Discord server is just easier to do everything. Just trust me, all right? Just trust me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, guys, this is for today's video. If you guys have enjoyed it, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and share this video with your friends if it helped you. And if you think they will like it, don't force them to watch my video. If they think they're gonna like it, then go on and share this video to them. And I'm probably gonna upload more and more, so just subscribe to my channel. I'll make sure to comment down below about what videos you want to watch. I will read the comment section and probably choose the best ones that you guys are asking me to make videos about, and I'll make a video out of it, obviously. And yeah, this is Dashcraft. I am out. I love you guys so much, and I am out. Bye bye.